Guess what this is about? So I know there's some overlap. Just to speed things up, is anybody not convinced that margin awareness is a good idea? Because if I have to sell you on that, I can skip some slides. Okay. So like I said today, I think it's profound. Like we're really leaning into it in terms of margin blindness is a really bad thing. Giving 20% off on a discount for a 10% margin, bad idea, duh, as I like to quote myself. So let's just go to where we need to go. I'm here to talk about data, what data I think you might need to challenge you around data, and talk about how you can get that data into Miva. Before I was in product, I was the original creator of Miva Connect NetSuite. So I have a history of playing with data. I have a passion for data. I love beautiful data. I can get a little bit obsessed. But as we all know, in the modern landscape, our data is all over the place. And I'm here to tell you for this application, that's okay. That's really okay. You are not going to use Miva as your accounting platform. You are not going to submit reports on the profitability of your store from Miva. What we really want to get done here is work out how, comparing two products, which is the more profitable, which has the best margin. This is not necessarily about dollar and cents, but some of you might have that. I've got the same slide on both here. I'd really love to know what's next. Same. Is it possible? No, let me go back and forward. Yeah, fixed. No. Oh, yeah, better. Okay, it might have been my bad. This is two slides with slightly different. So what data do you really need? Even a rough signal is better than no signal at all. This functionality inside Miva is going to go really, really deep. We realize that it's a really good piece of low-hanging fruit. You're always going to try and sell more, but let's make more money out of what we sell. So I would challenge you. I get challenged all the time. People come to me and say, hey, what's the roadmap? I'm going to challenge you and say to you, what's your roadmap? What's your roadmap? Because margin isn't simple. It's not as simple as price versus cost. If you have a margin that's 75% that's returned most of the time, that's not great. It's not great. So I would challenge you to think of this as a bigger problem and have a roadmap to get to where your store actually knows in somewhat real term which products are better for you to sell and which products are worse for you to sell. In terms of the actual coding, like what you were saying, Johnny, if it's not cost versus price, if it's a custom field, you would just do that on a template. You do price minus that value from the custom template. But this can be from the left to right here, if I'm looking at the right slide, this could be as simple as cost and price. If that's where you want to start. Just start somewhere. Rough estimates, if you have a small amount of products and you can go through and create a spreadsheet and just put kind of a rough percentage on each product, that is, a rough signal is better than no signal at all. Hybrid approach, if you have, like, say you have a custom field that is a manufacturer or is a partner or some kind of an identifier, and you could kind of put a percentage against each of those. You could build template code so that automatically all products have a margin based on that theory. Or you might have numbers coming out of your ERP that you actually know is a reasonable value for margin. Just stick that in custom field and you're good to go. But I would challenge you to have a roadmap and be thinking, what else in my data systems are indicators that it's not quite as simple as that, and what can I do over time so that we're storing more data in Miva? We're not trying to make it an accounting platform, but we're trying to store more data in Miva. We're trying to pull insights from tickets, from returns, from marketing costs, that we end up with this really good idea of what product is worth in a sale, some other product. So let's talk about connecting data. This is the fun part. First of all, a shameless plug. This is true. Something I often quote is I ran the numbers on Rally House one day, and they had a busy day, and what went through our API would have taken 31 years into Shopify. 31 years based on the rate limits of one day of traffic. Now, David Hubbard's like, shut up, Keifer. Don't tell him to do that. We don't want you to blow up our servers, but what we're saying is we are in the business of helping you get your business done. We don't do limits. If you do dumb stuff, we're going to say, please don't do the dumb stuff. But we're not billing you. We're not throttling you. We are not limiting different plans to what the API can do. Our API is really solid. Compared to our competition, it's a differentiator, and the way it is written is also astonishing. If you have 200,000 products that you want to update the inventory, you can do that. Yeah. You can do that with 10 API calls. The way we've written the API is astonishingly powerful. And when we meet new developers, they're like, and then they're like, oh, I mean, it's good. It's really good. So shameless plug. Now let's talk about different scenarios for getting your data in. If you are a NetSuite user, we've been talking about it for the last 3 years. We have a NetSuite, Miva Connect NetSuite, which can do anything you want from NetSuite to Miva. It just depends what you want to do, and we can help you sit down and work out a good balance of functionality per cost. But if you have data inside NetSuite that relates to margin or relates to something that could help calculate margin, then definitely talk to us about Connect NetSuite, because I still think we're the best at doing that. Johnny rolled his own, he's special. But I still think in terms of engagement, we're the best people to do NetSuite integrations, because every NetSuite instance is different, every Miva instance is different. Somebody that tells you it's really easy to connect the two is lying, and Johnny will agree with me, right? Okay, next up, if you're using any other ERP, or if you have information that is in a system that you think would be valuable for your margin awareness, Miva Connect ERP, we have worked with a lot of ERPs, professional services, these guys over here. Go talk to them. We have done projects with most ERPs, and we're available to solve your critical data, like getting orders into it, inventory sync, all the normal stuff, typo. But even if it's just something, get a project going. Go. We like. Huh? I've thrown out my voice. So, professional services is available to help get data, and we're available. Again, let's not forget about QuickBooks. QuickBooks Online is fairly basic in terms of data. You can't have custom product fields, but it does have a cost field. So if your easiest process is to do all this math and work out what your costs are on a product, and the best person is to handle that data is the person in QuickBooks, then our integration can get that into Miva, no problem. And then let's talk about N8N that has been mentioned today. I'm going to read what I said. You are 4 hours of YouTube videos away from being able to sit down with AI and start solving simple data flow needs with N8N. Now, I don't know if that's true, but it's pretty close to true. I mean, seriously, it's a little bit of an exaggeration, but this thing is powerful and easy. You get it hooked up, you say, the example we did yesterday in the dev, choose a trigger. I want this to happen automatically every hour. Okay, I want to pull something from Google Sheets. Drag and drop the Google Sheets node into the screen. Authenticate with Google Sheets, say this spreadsheet, this sheet, this column, I want to sync to this custom field, and pull the node from Miva, authenticate with Miva, put in the auth token, boom, do it every hour and you're done. It's a bunch of people from Zapier, or who use Zapier, and a bunch of people who use the more complex one, who got into a room probably and said, yeah, we can do better than this. And it's really elegant and beautiful. So don't rule out N8N as the Swiss Army knife to get some extra data in there. Maybe something from Zendesk, like how many tickets are there complaining about, like this is really nuanced on your roadmap. Really nuanced on your roadmap. Get to a point where you consider the cost of customer support part of your margin, and start pulling data out of things like Zendesk to give a ding to the score on something that is high support. So this is my challenge to you, is really think about this. And I'm a nerd, so brainstorm with me about it too. But N8N is a great opportunity. Then hey, there's nothing wrong with imports. It's old school, but imports work. If that's how you want to get the data in, that's how you get the data in. Nobody's going to judge you. It's been pretty quick. We've talked about the things where it is currently supported. I want to tell you what our vision is more and give you the assurance that if you put in the effort to get your data into Miva and create this beautiful algorithm and create this ranking, I will commit to making it worth your while. It's not in R1, but it will quickly come that pretty much anywhere you can sort anything in Miva, there can be a margin aspect to that, like obvious places like carousels and things and flex components. There are so many places that we will ripple through and we will make margin aware, just part of the overall process, just part of the DNA of the product. And we're really excited about it. It's part of, it'll ripple through what's already there, and it will be deeply embedded into everything that's coming. And that is actually all I've got. I don't know how long that took.